A lot of variables. That's why it feels like it can be random.
T1, but this does allow them to put
I think there's a big element of it.
age-old
Okay, T1
still gets
on
to stay on
defense,
the raise,
GenG on attack.
He was
Bird
playing
map,
the Gecko, but he
no
did
raid
play the
boss.
Sage on the Icebox over in Shanghai as well, so obviously
No
getting some
chamber,
time
but we do
on
have
that
the
agent.
Sage, but they got no info
Let's see how that
sentinel,
really
so
works out,
potential
because so far
lux
for
if
today, the
GenG
game
want to
plan
play
has
it
been
slow.
familiar with that operator, and
A
it works
lot
out
of
so
opportunity
well.
for
This
that.
is a map where an operator could be pretty good too, but clearly
It's
you
a
want
lot about
something
who
more
has
from a
better prep
Sentinel
into
when,
games. Yeah, I
your
really think
duelists
so.
can be so pervasive with how they dive in. So
Whoa,
trying to work out
we go
against Texture,
fast
but
on
GenG
this
now
one
just
over towards mid. This is a
incredibly pressing on the
giant
pace,
jewel.
all
No
the way up
vision
mid.
block here apart from
Yeah, it's just gonna
this
be a
area,
quick
so
scout all the
yeah,
way
there was a
into
small
market. Now,
window
this will
where
be able
someone
to
potentially
circumvent
could have got
the
through
Sage
to
wall a
Bobo.
little bit, trying to break it from both sides, but right now the members that are inside, they might be in a little bit of trouble. They have to just stay alive until the rest of the team can crawl in through B main, waiting for the slow orb to dissipate. Now T1 already all swarming the site as well. It's a quick flood, trying to make sure that they can take control back of the site, and Isu just cannot get enough kills. And all of a sudden, Rossi finds himself
Looking
left
good
alone
for the
in the middle
pistol.
of the map, up against 4 members of Gen.G.
Where are we at with the
They're
pistols
running
at the
over while
moment?
the
T1
spike
won
gets
both,
planted.
right? So
Really,
3-1
really tough for
pistols,
him to
about to be 3-2
win his way out of
pistols.
this one, as he looks for some of these angles and duels.
Who do I think is the strongest Sunset on Pacific?
But that
I mean,
tripwire right in front of him.
honestly,
He's got a bit of utility.
Paper Rex, when they
Yeah,
had
and
Monyet,
especially
had
as a
the
Gecko
strongest
here, just
Sunset.
getting a couple more kills could mean
In the
a
world.
big thing. Trying to get that Thrash on
Now,
early.
I'm
We
not
see
too
it come
sure.
on very early on Sunset a lot of the times. And now Gen.G recognizes that. They don't want to give up the free kills. They say enough time has passed. The wingman had just been used to scout as well, so he's not going to be able to use that for the defuse until a little bit later. No time left in the round. And Rossi just looking for one more kill on the exit. He gets one. Will not get the fourth, but that is 3 points towards that Thrash.
Good kills. And Thrash is a very, very useful ability on this map. But apart from that, the pistols so far today have been pretty even. Gen.G fighting back by increasing the pace right now. You have to admire how, you know, Excret plants that site smoke to just buy a little bit more time and throw that paranoia from cover. But Gen.G, again,
One
with the way
sheriff,
that they
that's
take
it.
fights, not fully
Gen.G
committing
are
and
allowed to
then
death.
getting it in once
Dude,
they
they
find
love a
that
Guardian.
advantage, it's always something to admire.
And 4 rifles, 2 of them automatic, so we'll be able to utilize that B site a little bit if they so choose. But not going for anything like the Stinger than the Spectre, so shying away from the A site for the time being is Gen.G.
Dude,
Comes out from
and
T1,
look at
will have to
Meteor.
force Gen.G
He
to
just sent
all
it
wrap
into the
around
smoker
far
middle.
side
Here's
of
someone
that
running
box.
next to him. Does he take the timing? Yes, he
Don't have the
does.
weaponry to fight it. Meteor digs deep with the Ghost. He does win the second one.
Lovely.
Meanwhile, fight's already going through on the site. Meteor now already on the chase.
Yeah, and this is
Trying
okay
give
for him
a
to
bit
take
of
the
an
gamble
advantage.
because all the upgrade they
Doesn't
get is just the
quite
ghost.
finish off
Doesn't
the
matter
kill
too
itself,
much, and
though.
he's just
And
done
it's
so
good
much
because he only
damage.
had a ghost, and he
Heal
got
comes in
so
onto
much
Excret
damage
with
off of that
HP.
Sad player.
Can they
Trying to
get
top his
anything
teammates
else?
off with
They were
that
allowed a
heal,
death. That was the death they were allowed.
Still a very difficult round to win back. Just looking for some of these exits while Gen.G secures the spike and the site.
Oh, I like this from T1.
Heretics
So
with mini
2
boo
of them
back
looking
on
to dive
Neon.
to the
Yeah,
spike,
first
but
week's not going to be with the
Rossi, he's 2
Neon buff
points
though,
away from
which
the Thrash.
sucks a little
He
bit for
wants to
them.
get an exit frags. He wants to try to set up the
Yeah,
Thrash for the
it
next
does look
round.
like everything's kind of
Gets
set
shut
for
down,
Heretics
but
to have a
even with the
crazy
death,
run
now
at champs.
only 1 away from that ultimate. So
If
T1
they get to champs.
still doing what they can to try
Still only like
to scrap
4th in
together
champ
the silver
points.
linings, but of course, so far things all going perfectly for Gen.G here in the very beginning of Map 3 on Sunset.
Good idea, though. Good idea. I mean, this is a map that Gen.G intentionally left open. They clearly had the ideas and the adaptations to how they want to fight against T1. I mean,
No
this
damage
is
done. That's
so
all.
far
They
some of
lost
the
the
fastest
ghost.
rounds
I'd
that
say
we've
we get a
seen,
full buy
starting
for
out on a new
GenG.
map.
Really, really strong. We got the
While
first full
T1
buy
just
for
trying to
T1.
find some adjustments
GenG can
to it.
buy,
We
but
haven't
next
seen
T1
too
can't.
much yet. Just some of these barrier orbs just blocking off the B site. It hasn't worked out the best. Stax trying to do what he can with that, you know,
Yeah.
breach utility around the A site, but
So poor
Gen.G has
Prodigy,
been
bro.
avoiding
He
it so
loved
far.
doing to him.
This round, though, it's a different story.
Yeah, now all eyes on to A site. Gen.G.
Mod's playing
Trying
aim
to
labs.
deny that old orb as well. Now Stax is here alongside Rossi, so a lot of utility.
Whoa.
It's going to be a fast one trying to get
The
past.
great
Rossi
stun
got
back,
the
though.
utility, but there's the spam through the
Yeah,
stun. He just
Stax
can't
hit an
get through the flash a little bit
unbelievable
late, but
stun.
Stax not late on the trade himself. Will still be able to hold on to elbow. Still 4 members alive. However, the rifles were purchased the previous round, and Gen.G have a couple upgrades themselves. Still 3 rifles against the 4 of T1. GenG now slow it down, forcing T1 to have to fish for information. Here comes that utility that's going to be going on to cooldown. There's the mosh, and then there's the aftershock.
That's a big util dump. Oh my goodness.
Cannot go far enough. Saya player really just has to get information. Gets an advantageous angles, repositions, looking for the trade follow-up as well.
Oh, he went back.
He
He went back on 6 HP.
Very clean buy round from
Okay,
T1.
only 1 death. That's pretty nice. I mean,
first
elbow
of
here
all,
was just an
that combo
absolute
of
death
utility,
trap.
The way that Stax holds down this A site. Breach is just such a strong agent around this spot. The fault line denies texture. The rest of it, the flashpoint just slows down the pacing. And of course, no escape towards the end.
Yeah, honestly, that stun though, that stun from Stax to stop him from going fast over towards side is
shows how much
giant.
T1 can control when they're reading the right pushes from GenG. So 2-1 for now.
Yeah, so GenG, again, you're going on a bit of a bonus. Now, obviously, quite a bit of investment themselves from the 2 rounds, but once again, trying to go for the fast tempo. This time, they draw out the reaction. So a lot
There's
of
so much
conditioning already
util
going on
dumped here.
from
I'm surprised they managed to
GenG.
get to the angles to
They're
break
not
this
gonna take
knife.
too much damage,
Giant.
just a little bit of chip
Okay,
onto
so T1 win
Lakia.
the duel over
During all
towards
of
A.
that,
They put
mid
1 person
goes
to
over
watch
GenG
it,
for
and
free
in
as
reaction,
well. So a
GenG.
similar pattern, but this time all members left alive.
Or
This
pass
is
and
going to impact the
walk
future
mid.
rounds, but for now, it's a hard
God.
push. All the way through top mid. It's going to be more targets than T1 bargained for. They have no idea. Yizu had no idea what was in store
And
for
then
him.
instant reaction, they
Too many
push free
cards to
market
choose
over
from.
towards mid. What a weird round this
Lakia
is.
still
Oh
here.
my god, what the
Over
hell is
on
going
the
on?
lurk, ready to pinch when the time is right. He needs to get
Okay,
this
well, that
kill,
Joe
and
secures
he
it for
will.
GenG.
Sight is now opened up for free. Saya and Excurate going through the smoke early. Saya catches sight of one, but they need to go as a double team, trying to get the spike. Excurate goes in a little bit too far forward ahead of his teammates, and he's all alone. Thinks he can maybe deny the spike plan. And Saya, I mean, what can you do here? Sure, you've had some great shots as the chamber, but this time it's gonna be none. As Meteor closes out, and
36,
GenG
5,
once again keeps the lead.
13 and 3.
Oh my goodness, the strats on this
How
map
do they
is
not get
really
any more
tough to read
kills?
once you're considering
That
you
is
know,
so
every single
unlucky.
possible factor along with it as well, right? I mean,
Okay,
talking
win
about
around insta
possible
reset.
conditioning as it goes through, that's why we see a lot of
Nah, I
early
messed up
pressure
for T1.
around this A main area. But apart from that, GenG just having
Bera
cognizance
underscore
to
X18.
go
Thank you so
that
much for
deep down
the
mid
6 months.
and do
Thanks for
it
the prem.
together as a team. There's no way that T1 would have anticipated that.
Thank you for the
Unless they were
support,
being
dude. Thanks for doing that.
careful, so, Carrots
Okay,
as well,
they actually
come
managed to
back.
force out
Yeah.
here. Did
I
they
mean,
miss
I
so
don't
much?
know who you're welcoming back. Maybe it's yourselves coming right
No,
back
they're not
into the
missing
swing
too
of
much.
things, but GenG, and now after that condition
Other
onto
than
the
a,
A side, it's going to be a fast
whoa.
push on to B.
Whoa.
The
Whoa.
updraft and the dash deep in, but Excurate holds his ground in the smoke. We'll make sure he orients himself.
Ah, it's such a good reposition. Such
Such
a good reposition. The shots are just not there, though.
A crucial kill, but still the trade, still numbers advantage for T1. And now the Thrash, GenG. Can they make sure that they have
Oh my
enough
god, everything's
people
getting
staying
popped.
alive? All the ults being drawn
Yeah,
out of T1.
they know that if they lose this,
And
they
GenG
got
may just
eco.
have to be calling it as a satisfaction and say, all right,
Giant
we're all
rounds,
the
good
power
amount of
ultimates.
ults used, so
be it, the
GenG
rest
should be
doesn't work
kind of
out.
okay with it, but
Similar to what we saw from before. I mean, sometimes
4
you
people
just gotta
surviving
throw
as
that
well,
curveball.
that's nice
Maybe
for
your
the money.
opponents catch it, but at the very least, you kind of baited out some of their cards as well, right? So that's a very good win. But that said, T1 has to continue to try to find this lead back towards their side. So
Second
far,
game
they've
today,
been putting a lot of attention
Paper X
on
Talon,
this
right?
A site. The recovery from Excurate, though, you have to admire that. That was really good. Maybe not securing the kill, but getting enough information. And then the combo of utility, the thrash into the showstopper, the shots into A main. T1 definitely has what it takes.
Yeah, I mean, of course, also giving that respect as well. Like you said, having to use all those ultimates now, that does give a little bit of priority back to GenG with the ultimates they have online. No command for Munchkin. Sage Wall waiting to be used on a timing. That's going to allow them to focus all on mid. If they clear out mid, eventually that A site is going to be a fast retake as well. Going deep with no audio. T1.
Whoa.
This is a journey, and it may not be a good one if they commit to it. It's a quick trade, and they will have to back off. You don't want to try to hold on to tiles without control of the rest of the map. Just Excurate waiting.
would I watch Val console competitive? Maybe like big events.
And meanwhile, Rossi will look to hold
Depends
the
how much,
backside of
depends
A,
how much
looking to
auto
go
aim
for
it's
a
got on it.
retake on the A side.
Like if the aim assist is
GenG will
huge,
have to
then
spend
it's
their
just
time
pointless.
clearing corners, because here's the thing: they're feeling the pressure that if Tiles was taken over, was there
It
a
could be
pinch
fun
on the
with
A
strats
side?
and stuff.
Cam going to be used on a timing.
GenG's wondering about it, but at the same time for T1, it's high risk, high reward. Xcrit has to be very, very cautious with how he wants to peek out. Trying to play around the cyber cage now. He knows that GenG's pretty much committing to this A site. The team is here to play alongside him, but he has to stay alive.
Damn.
Meteor just turns around. The trip wasn't even off yet.
Yeah, I just had a
having
feeling.
the awareness to check for it, and now it's a 3-on-4 retake.
I mean, how does Meteor think to check once more when he still has the trip? He would have been safe if he just stayed away, but for now, all eyes still on the retake as it tries to go through. Never mind, it will get stopped as soon as it begins. T1 does not even get to step into the site. Saya gets a consolation
Okay,
kill.
good news is 4 people
1 point
survived in the
towards
round
Salt.
before, right? So
But
money's
that's gonna be
okay,
it.
but
Has
it's
to
another round where they
foresee.
win one,
Wants to make
lose
sure
the
that he's not
next.
getting
Okay,
chased.
next round's
Will
going to be
just make
giant.
sure
We've got to
he's
start
able
looking at
to
some of the
punish
money
anyone
over
who
towards here
follows
as
through
well.
with Gen.G. They're not going to
Next
go
round is a
for
big
it. They're
one.
not going to greed for it. Their credits aren't exactly in the healthiest place right now. They'll be happy with the round win. And what a recovery here from Gen.G.
I mean, it really shows they don't miss a single beat. If Meteor maybe didn't turn around, then it would have been a little bit more possible for T1, but he did. And not only that, just when it comes down to a numbers game, when it comes down to retakes, Gen.G has the information, they have the numbers, they will make those trades painful. And it's just that much more difficult for T1 at that point. So on to the next rounds. I mean, what?
A very different vibe from Meteor. A very, very
What's he saying?
mellow.
I mean, it just
listen.
shows how comfortable Gen.G are still.
Well, I was gonna say, you know, the desk talked about how they might be a little bit tired. It's been a rough
Okay, we got
schedule
2.
for
I mean,
them,
they
and
have
maybe
knives as well.
Just trying to save his energy, but one way or another, just making sure that they're not going to
Oh
overdo
my,
it, the dash
the Omen
in,
flash
and
into
he
the
confirms
dash on
the
top,
paranoia's
and he
there
got
as
hit
well,
by
so
the
he knows he
camera
will be
as
safe
well.
on
Bro,
that
Izu
aggressive
got
dive.
util dumped.
Good read from Gen.G.
Poor guy,
so
solo,
patient,
in charge of
even after
solo
being pushed
holding
through
over
to
towards
a
A.
third map.
And he eats the camera dart. Eats an Omen
So
flash.
fast. Still confident
And
with
there's a jet
everything.
dashing over
Now,
him.
despite the smokes, Munchkin going in to clear a little bit more,
Oh,
gets further information.
That's
Stacks
crazy.
now finding those numbers back into the hands of T1. Karan finds the trade with positioning. Still up on top. Good paranoia from XQ. Tries to send that go signal in, but side player unfortunately gets shut down. Meteor holding the off angle makes it that much more difficult for T1 to push through. And at this
I mean,
point,
dude,
it's
that was a
just little bit too
simple
daunting.
round, but
They're
it was
gonna have to
so
save.
so nice.
Yeah, so I don't know as we wait to see if there are going to be any extra kills here on the side of Gen.G. Texture for sure wants to go in for more. He's got that Blade Storm and see how many more he can get. Not anymore for the time being.
Okay, we got 2 players
So
that can't
T1
buy on
will
top of
keep
this.
2 of the
Stax can buy an
rifles, but
okay
I was going
gun.
to say, going for the retake onto A,
And
sure, it's not the best position. You're
Gen.G
all coming in
forced
through
T1 down
alley
to a
in the
low
back
buy.
of sight, but using your utility one by one, there's not a single double up from T1 in this previous round. And so that allows Gen.G to always peek out from different angles one by one to go for these trades. I mean, if you were only just able to maybe double down on some of those pieces of utility, maybe you at least clear the trip a little bit earlier, you're able to get in at least a step more forward. I think
Stealing
Gen.G's
that
positions
one?
were still
Yeah, it was a
strong.
nice round.
That's something that T1 will have to consider because
Back
they
to
do have a very
42%.
strong retake composition, and they'll have to work it to their strengths.
So far hasn't been successful though, Will. That's what I'm really worried about. The timeout being called now to hopefully give them
Our
some,
DRX already in playoffs,
confidence
so
coming
it's
back
split 1
into
and
the
split
game,
2
but so
put together.
far,
So
all of
they're
this is
6-0,
due to the
right?
effects of mental conditioning, right? Gen.G just continues to show
Leo
that
taking
they
some time
have
off? Yeah,
the
I heard about
confidence,
that. I
they
mean,
have the strength to
anything
execute
that is
and
for a
rush
player's health
whichever side
is
it might be.
the
You
right
know,
move.
Earlier on, we saw it was over on B. Now we're back on A, and Texture back on the Blade Storm. There's so much that T1 kind of needs to watch out for sometimes that they
7?
kind of get lost in the sauce a little bit.
Wait, it can't
Yeah,
be 7.
The early couple of rushes as well. Again, that conditioning really
I'm not muting the
forcing
timeout
T1's
now. I'm
hand.
just tanking
T1
the
starting to do
copyright.
a couple of these
things.
overreactions on the rotates, on their utility. And we'll see
All
if this
good.
timeout's able to calm them down for the time being. It's not going to be a pretty buy for T1, as they will mostly try to match their credits. Rossi will just buy down to a rifle, but worst case, he'll be the only one without a rifle the next round. And
They
now
won
Paul,
yesterday?
half
Yeah,
armor,
but
door
they only played
closed
5
on
games and
market.
split 1.
T1 just kind of looking to play the numbers game. Stack on A first. They had the Rolling Thunder if it's a rush, but if it's not
DRX
that,
is 6-0, yeah.
the breach, watch
Chat,
for mid
relax
control.
yourselves.
Stacks, the game plan isn't to push out. It's just to make sure that they get information, as now you have B walled off and A main cleared. And is it a double? No, it doesn't connect to the second, but still does get one. And look at the
Whoa.
duels and mid. Gen.G just
Yeah,
pick
lovely
them off
trades.
from a distance. And T1 whittled down to 2 members in a blink of an eye.
just that strong. It's so difficult to take some of these duels against Gen.G, especially when they have those numbers. Gen.G's protocols are always that good. Nobody is ever
like the idea of the
truly
wall.
alone on the
Wall's
site.
not too bad.
And that's why that smoke, that
Want to do it far away enough from the stairs so they can't jump over it.
Wanted to take control over mid. Not bad from Silent Player, but unfortunately the trade's not going the way of T1. So this retake, I'm sorry, Will, doesn't fill me with the most confidence right now.
Oh, I mean, it's going to be a tough one. You've got Hunter's Fury as well, but there's no way that you're going around on a flank in a 2v3. So the round,
it's the classic.
all but written in stone for Gen.G. T1, they'll try to take away the
at least get the ult out of them.
Up
it early, Satchel into Omen Flash. Satchel again.
A little bit fast. Izu wants kills, and Gen.G knows they don't have to give it to him.
They will at least take the fact they got the Silver ult out of them. There's basically that.
Gen.G now leading 6-2.
First match worth watching. The map, bro, split was incredible.
You can tell hiding inside of that smoke, that blast pad kind of beeping off against them. They're just counting down. All right, 1, 2, 3.
Any thoughts on the new Fnatic player? I've never seen him play. I have no idea.
T1 in that successful fashion. 3 rounds in a row.
If Mini was involved in the scouting, though, he's probably a god.
And now Gen.G look to continue the pressure back onto A.
Rolling Thunder available.
Yeah, so T1's going to stick with the same plan here.
Camera into stun, into Omen Flash.
He's been tagged. He needs to back off. You have that Rolling Thunder. You can wait for another turn.
And they've been doing this all the time, though, making sure that elbow is just a death trap. And how many does Stax's ult get? Oh, pushes them out into the open. They double swing. Wait, this is a sick round. This is a sick round. Ult, air, and then just as they're going to ult, they aggro over towards side as well. This was sick, man.
Now the ultimate leads to a
that was really, really cool.
Round.
Just opens things up, reads Gen.G's pages, figures out exactly what they needed to do to
flash on top of this as well.
Rossi
yeah, it was great.
That Dizzy. Stax with the Rolling Thunder.
Good as well, because everyone's gonna try and you go with the angle that is going right, so everyone wants to go out towards the right. Dude, that flash was insane.
The T1 that we need to see more of. That's how they capitalize on that Rolling Thunder.
Yeah, the timing was
so
sick. Good too.
That was really, really cool.
They know that the audio's been cut, but wait up.
Okay, and Gen.G go for this failed so bad that we do it again. Obviously, they don't have the breach ult, so 3-person elbow. There's everyone join. Oh my god. Yeah, dude, the whole time had 2 teammates behind him. No way, Gen.G are winning these duels. 29-20.
To a 2v2, but so low. Not even 50 HP combined between Lakia and Munchkin.
So that's a little bit far away.
Yeah, and they probably know most likely the obvious call here is to go for a res.
Be able to head over to a body and maybe pop off a res. I think that's what they want to do.
Yeah, and Gen.G might be looking to just gain more space. They realize that this res might be happening. The fragment just
doesn't really hit the mark.
Let T1 know minimum. It's Munchkin still over here, and now
I like this though. Meanwhile, they've gone for this, guys.
Is Saya ready for it? He is, because you don't see any further reactions.
And the Omen ult sticks over towards B, knowing that he was over towards A main a while ago.
The timing
elbow.
Absolutely ruined, and now Munchkin knows
this is nice from T1.
that it's going to be more about staying alive, using this time to regroup.
I mean, Izu's just a god.
All right,
wait.
hands off.
What's he doing?
Keyboard.
Wait.
Listen, I mean, you got to make sure that you're in tip-top condition.
Like
was he checking a fake watch?
Looks at his wrist for a while, scratches it.
A little bit of an itch. You don't want to get twitchy.
It just had an itch? Bro, it looked like he was checking a fake watch. That's crazy.
That's the thing, though. Like, it's the coaching staff and the players here for Gen.G. It's not that they're not trying their best. Obviously, they're going to try to give you the best games they always have, but they just look like they are not pressured
This is going to
anymore,
itchy wrist, bro. He's gone for it again.
They felt every round they needed to prove themselves, and to a certain extent they did. Not because they didn't have good careers, but because they never quite lifted that trophy, even as individuals. And now that they've done it, they've broken that barrier, and they realize, look at the bigger picture, right? Look at the forest, not the trees. It's all right. This round, it's already passed. Let's look towards the next one. This map, it's already passed. Let's look towards the next one. A lot more leisure here for Gen.G. Zizou, yeah, catches a bit of a break.
Wow, what
here
a god,
in this round.
man. Honestly, the two elbow left him.
The trees, and that's really what's keeping Gen.G in this game.
Yeah, I thought they were going to 3-person swing sides, and then he ended up just being on his own, and he just takes down 3.
An opponent who looks this comfortable, even in uncomfortable situations. So timeout being called right now, and they're trying to find a way to cement their lead. T1 has started to stage a little bit of a comeback Going for some of these reads, going for some of these counter plays, holding down that elbow position.
And Rossi speaking a lot of his mind as well. See what he's picked up to share with
35, bro. These are the two highest
digest
percentages
all
we've
of
seen
that
so
from
far from the
teammates and
coaches.
But of course, this is Gen.G's
The coaches
timeout,
yesterday
so
were on like
T1's
19 to
job
25%.
to try to read the minds of Solo and HSK and Munchkin as the IGL of Gen.G. Guardians coming out once again. A couple of them in the hands of Gen.G. Looks like Heron might want to try to even out. The Econ not in the best place for Gen.G. No matter what they do, the numbers are going to be all over the place. But they'll just trade who's going to hold the Vandals, a bit more of that power weapon.
And they are absolutely sending it. And it's a crunch over towards here. The Razor.
That's an early Tiles crunch, ball blind,
no Razor
paranoia,
used with that.
everything thrown out there. And Gen.G, they were
this is not too
somewhat
bad.
ready for it, but Isu still gets one. And that's the KO. Cypher ult used, but it's a 2-2 split. Not the best of information. They identify where it is weakest. Rossi, he realizes, oh, that's a rush. Lots of
hold
steps,
up.
calls for the
A lot of
backup.
steps, and Mitra gets into the corner. At least his one running. I mean, he had both here.
Somewhat wary of it,
He had
but
both.
the
Does he
timing
not
of
just
it.
take a huge
How quick is it
timing?
gonna be?
Yeah.
Meteor lets him know.
And then he
Everyone
calls,
rotating.
yeah. I
I
mean,
heard
literally
two
his two running
sets of
past him,
footsteps.
calls it
We
up to
spotted
two
two
over
of them on
towards
A side.
B.
And a bit of a blunder here from T1.
Oh.
They let all the audio go over to Gen.G.
I mean, he
and the
probably
spike
still
will
won
be
his team
planted.
around
Thrash
getting to the
used,
position.
But
The,
numbers advantage
not the best B
in
plan.
this 4v3 retake.
And this rotation, you know, it takes a little bit of time for
Okay, they
T1
go
to get over
wingman.
onto the B side.
And it's not like
Maybe
it's a
10
plant that's
seconds.
against any wall, so
You don't
it's like
have
an
that much
open
time
circle
to
for
clear out the
defusing.
entire site right now. Surely you anticipate
Rossi
that
still
they're
has
just
his
hiding
fish
inside
shot
of
to
B,
clear over
but
towards
then
B main.
It's such a tough fight. Lakia still has the shock darts texture, incredibly sharp. The smokes have been set up. They're watching the angle. Karen set up on top.
Oh my God.
Triple kill, almost a fourth Lakia, nailing it down.
So time was so low, they kind of had to rush it a little bit.
The off angle,
And I mean,
the smoke
yeah,
on
this
the box.
the positioning was just everything.
Down, and you could tell, like you said, Quack, the rotation takes so long that Excurid, he's rushing it. He's Shrouded stepping forward wherever he can just to try to
Yeah,
open
in
up
an
the
ideal
angle
world,
from the
they
site for
fish
his
out,
teammates.
but
even
time was so
then,
low that they
they're
were hoping
not
that the
able
flash
to
was
get all
enough.
the information they need. Saya tries to go for the trade, but meanwhile, Stax
Bro,
and
some
Rossi
nice shots,
not
man.
able to follow up. Karen giving them a piece of their mind. He's
Bro, they
enjoying
love
it,
a
and
fast
now,
A.
oh my
At least they
God,
have some different
the rush onto
variations though. This
elbow
one's
again,
kind of
but
cool.
again, not full commitment.
Flash dash elbow with the KO. Oi,
Just
oi,
holding
oi.
up. See
Yeah,
if
real
there's
good.
a reaction. Get that ult or for Lakia. See, maybe, just maybe, you might need that Hunter's Fury in that post plant.
This is crazy. Gen.G always, you know, seemingly aggressive, but they're just getting close enough within distance to deliver a deadly strike. If they sense a bit of danger, then they're going to taper back, and that's what makes them so
Three
dangerous.
people
They
here,
can
and it's just
always
spawn
adapt. Their
insta
game plan is
Razor
so
or
flexible.
And now that jump peak texture ahead of it, but not able to land the kill itself. Stax taking a bit of chip. Now surely you're ready for it. Stax
this
tries
is
to make
Razor.
it
This
out,
is a
but
giant
Texture,
jewel.
he
Okay,
has
Razor
seen
goes
this time and
down.
time
That's
again.
a
Reads
massive
right through the
find.
bluff. Takes out Izu, and that's the call for the execute, but Stax on site. Trade on to elbow.
Oh my God! It was so
Welcome
sick.
to T1.
It was so sick.
T1, Stax is here to
Jesus,
play.
bro, that was
Did
legit.
not miss anything at all. Back on the signature agent of Breach, and he's here to
That was
deliver
man.
that ace to Gen.G.
What a gosh.
An ace bathed in red
Oh my
for
God.
Stax. Might as well start getting used to it, folks.
Give me that
'cause he's
replay,
here
man.
to prove the new colors. Now going up against Gen.G. 5-7 in the half. Anybody's game. As T1 looks to try to win another
Replay the
pistol
replay.
in this
Coming
best
up,
of
don't
three to start their comeback.
Just holding down the ground, and despite all the reads, despite all the conditioning, given enough time. He is here to stay. Gen.G, you know, they still
Yeah,
have their
dude,
work
it's
cut
such
out
a good
for them.
pickup for
Maybe
T1,
not
man.
really feeling the pressure so much, and that's truly the mindset that they kind of need to be in. So you got to admire the leadership from them. But again, this matchup means so
Not
much
getting a
more
replay?
if
Nah, we'll get a replay.
T1
It's coming now.
Can bring it home. Championship points sitting at 4 right now, and they need the number to go up, up, and up.
Look at this. The focuser, he's making calls throughout this too. Look at the comms. Wow.
Oh my.
And he's just ready for it. Never, ever let the possibility happen.
Oh, look at that.
Hyping it up.
He's still just
Gotta
vibing, bro.
love it.
The tap at the end.
Said, Stax is the one keeping Rossi down. But
well, I mean, I think he is in some ways because Rossi now he's not trying to hype himself up. He's just
right.
Stax
Oh,
play
whoa,
his heart out.
Jesus.
Five
Okay, there we go.
all across
3-2 for Pistols,
T1
1-0 for this
trying
map.
to look a little bit
Pistol-wise.
rejuvenated, and now it's going to be a B stack. You've got that Sage. And ever since Paper X showed us these types of comps
raid
in
boss.
the off season, of course, them with the KO.
Bro, what a
Sage
clip that
over
was.
Here on B, an absolute menace if they're able to get onto the site.
Alongside that Gecko as well, the teamwork, if it can stay tight, stay strong and clean, might be a little bit difficult for Gen.G.
They checked the corner though, right?
Count them out. Still got this off angle. They're trying to get pinched.
Don't do it.
He's in a good enough position to deny
Oh,
that.
he
Wingman
fired
now
one,
spikes out
but
in the
there was
open.
some. Okay, he
He's
did
able to
fire
take
when
the
he
frag
heard
off,
it.
though.
Yeah, Meteor will have to reposition. His Ghost
Oh.
does get hurt. He tried to
He's getting
fire
walled
one
up.
shot to fake them out. He's trying to get ahead of the
Oh.
wall. Does
Got
he
a gap.
find the opening? The Cyber Cage goes up, but Rossi already too fast into it. The wall perfectly placed. They'll still watch the small crack as well. Saya aware of the limitations of the Sage here on the B site. Texture with a fast flank. He gets one on Stax. That's the breach down. They have to clear the flank first if they want to have any peace of mind. Needs to be a double team. Texture buys time for his teammates. Trying to go and stick the defuse. Karen gets one. Messiah with a quick trade. Nobody on the spike just yet. Texture now coming back to try to open it up for Meteor.
Oh my god.
The reload.
They're hitting so many shots.
Now he knows. Texture's coming in from one side. He can't get through the wall. He's holding it close. And the swing.
How did they win it? They hit
Texture,
so
the
many
jet for
shots, bro.
Gen.G does it all here in the pistol of the second half, winning both pistols.
Yeah, they shouldn't be winning that one, man.
So
Texture hit
active,
some
always
shots
so
to this
deadly.
Meteor as
And
well.
It's not just the fact that he won out those pistols, not just the fact that he won out that one-on-one.
Was it not
had
Karen
the
as well?
decision
I
to
don't think he
swap
should have
the
been
sheriff
allowed to get
over
one
for a
also.
Ghost, knowing that that could have been a close quarter duel, and my sheriff wouldn't be that good in that sense. So incredibly smart stuff from Gen.G overall. I mean, Meteor having the sense to drop down that cyber case, play around the wall as well. Gen.G, despite losing that fight early on, they managed to recover. So comfortable, so happy.
Okay, Saya gets a raid boss.
He just loves Valorant. He said it himself. That's what got him to grind through the 4 years to try to see the light of day internationally. He always had the hype around him in Korea, but didn't have the title to back it up. And now, just able to play the game he loves, continuing on the big stage. T1 on the attack, on an eco. It's not going to feel good. On paper, they have to give this round up, but they'll do whatever it takes. A bit of a high-low double team between Saya and Excurate.
Oh, man. Jeez. The shots. The shots are banging.
It always just takes that one round for Texture.
Bro, honestly, this whole
Just one
game has been
round.
stacked
Sees
with
the shots
just
landing, he
insane
goes,
shots.
Oh, that's the Valorant I remember.
That was
And
like
it
the
just
whole
doesn't
of
stop
split.
for the rest of the map. Fouled anybody here. Oh, that timing should be good with the Dizzy.
Great Omen
But
flash,
they're
man.
not able to find the target.
How's he
He's
still alive?
still alive. He's
How is he
dashing.
still alive?
He's still jumping. It's still waving into the site.
Are you kidding?
And the Bulldog here now to cover. T1 Excurate, not what he bargained for. He was hunting the rabbit, but now the Tigers are all here on the site.
30 seconds left.
Lakia once again playing a bit of an off angle around the smokes. The paint show's trying to clear close. They're trying to push him out of the smokes, but they haven't quite cleared him on the side. Rossi
Oh
actually
no, we
goes
got a
down to
team
a
kill with a
CB
nade
speed
as
show,
well.
Missed all the chaos. Stax not able to find
That's
the
so
headshots
funny.
on the first couple peaks. He will go down. Only
Alright.
one kill going over to T1. Gen.G meanwhile leading 9-5.
Yeah, give me a rough one for
Into
T1.
the Lions, well, the Tigers' den, and they're gonna hear them roar. It's just so good, so sharp how Texture fights off this. He hops away. Lakia instantly here to receive the rest of the team. And apart from roaring, I guess you're gonna hear Gen.G laugh all the way down.
We go fast. He uses a satchel to boost himself up.
Not
And
only
we have a
does he
slow.
have the title now, he has the trophy.
Where the hell is that slow
right
actually
there
going?
on
Is
the
it bouncing
stage.
off the
Yeah, Gen.G,
wall and just goes
you
slow?
can just tell that now with that
Yeah,
burn
it
off
is.
their back, they're able to play much more to their own liking, to their own
Yeah, I mean,
pacing.
this is a nice
They've still
fast
got
A
a
take, to be
full
honest.
stage two.
You got stun for
Maybe
side,
some
satchel, you
experiments.
slow here.
Meteor trying to dance around the boombot, trying to find
We've
an
got
opportunity,
4
but he will have
people
to
on
back off for
site.
Now the paranoia is good. It opens things up for Izu, but they don't quite have full control yet. Finally taking down Meteor. Lakia and Texture gets a trade.
Oh my god,
Trying to
Texture,
hold
you're a
down the
lunatic.
crossfire. Obscure it.
Kinda
Fires back. Now we
had
know
to get out of
they
there.
targeted them
I get
all
it.
the way
Wow.
through. Dizzy sent out, so you still have the numbers advantage 3-2. Wall will be used. to make sure that there is no rotate. Saya positioning himself above.
Wall. Blocks it off a little bit too. Tougher retake for Gen.G now, despite, you know, making it actually winnable.
Oh, he baited that out. He TP'd. He TP'd, he looked to the left, and because he looked to the left, he saw the gun barrel.
It's all down to Rossi. 1-on-2. Clear angles, but no escape route. He has to land every single shot.
It's a good off angle, but the smoke forces him to bounce out. He needs
Boy, the individuals are showing up though for T1.
A costly buy round, but a win nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, at least they won it.
Slowly coming back into the game. Gen.G, they've managed to win out those pistols,
What do you reckon?
but T1 just
I mean, that was not. I wonder if we're ever
back.
going to see Karen's POV
Good
for that.
clutch, a
Like,
good way to
that would have been
recover.
a sick replay.
Just hang
He
on to
TPs
this
and then he
numbers
looks up and he
advantage.
sees the gun.
Gen.G are always deadly, but you gotta admire how T1 has the better teamwork and protocols.
We're not going to see it, right? They only show like the winning side POV.
Tossing out that utility to aid his
The
teammates,
replays.
and then to go
They
in
got some
forward.
strict
And then
rules
at the
going on
same
in
time,
production.
Once they have the information, Rossi knows how to
Okay,
nail
Say
it
may
all
take
down.
because Zay takes Lovely insta TP to get to the corner, which they think they can't get to, and they're adapting fast.
They do spot Karon. They know that Lakia was there as well. The Thrash immediately going to be used. T1 doesn't want to miss a single beat, but the 0 point to shut it down.
Yeah, there goes your official.
Thrash set back into the dimensions. And now T1, they have to reset, but they have so little control of the map. Everything banking on that Thrash opening up the site for themselves. What a call from Munchkin.
Very good stuff. And I gotta say, this is where Gen.G feels the most comfortable within range to strike down T1. T1 has to watch their backs. They're waiting for the
Oh,
cooldown
the
to
block
go
of the
off.
stun.
And
Did
here
it hit
comes the
both?
Thrash. Unfortunately,
No.
not quite able to spray it down, and that's the go button for T1. Xcurrent presses on the pressure. Shot steps into the back of sight, waiting for those flashes to go through. He wants his teammates to keep
Oh, that was
alongside him,
nice.
able
Swing
to
with the
burst down
breach damage,
Texture.
knowing
Then
it's going to
off
push
is
them off
far.
position.
Oh!
Oh!
He's not there anymore.
Bro, I'm
Xcurrent
telling you,
will find
it's
the
a
final
stacked
two
server
frags to
right
give
now.
himself
Everyone's
the quad.
unbelievable
Xcurrent's
aim-wise.
had a rough day. Let's just say it like it is. I mean, the
Dude,
IGL,
T1,
that's already
if we
a
actually
tough
go down
job,
to the
and he just
individual
hasn't been
rounds,
able
we
to win
got
a lot of the
Izu
duels we're used
3K,
to
we
seeing
got
from him.
Stax
For that
Ace, we
4K,
got
you
Rossi
gotta imagine
1v2, we
that
got
pumps some
this as
energy
well.
back into his
Like a
veins,
lot of
brings
these
him back
rounds
on
have been
board.
just
His teammates
individual
have to
stepping
hype
up, to
him
be
back up.
honest.
Because,
Obviously,
boy,
like the
did he
overall
call a
strat
good
of
map
how to
on
get map
Lotus to
control and
bring
stuff
them
like
here
that is
onto
nice.
Sunset.
And he didn't have to
Now
make
he's
this
leading
play
the
to win the
charge,
rounds,
leading
because
by
there's still a
example.
3v2,
Huron
but
just execute.
been a lot of individuals
Look at
stepping
him
up.
be pumped up. That is the Xcurrent that we want to see.
There you go, the energy.
Yeah, and that forces
now
Gen.G
coming
down
back
to an
in.
eco. They got hero knives,
They
everyone's
can
got a sheriff.
definitely stage a comeback, Will.
Got to keep an eye on Saya, taking
It's the
Jules
sheriffs
with
of
his
Gen.G. This
res.
might be sometimes when they are the deadliest. You win a couple of these thrifties, that makes all the difference between winning a best of 3 or not. Small set play from Gen.G to try to pressure him in, but knowing their weaponry, they will not greed for it. Right now, just trying to set up Texture for success. Trying to make sure that they can route everybody towards these Blade Storms and let Texture fly high to try to keep the lead.
And good call from Xcurrent too, because they're anticipating this, knowing not to disrespect or count out Gen.G when they are on this sort of thrifty buy. That's why they're playing that early default, but now that first 30 seconds have passed, rendezvousing, regrouping, back into that B site. The camera though, I don't know if that's something that
Hey,
they're
that's
gonna
sick.
anticipate at all. Meteor
so
might just
sick.
be in a
He actually
prime
got the
position
raise
to
nade
strike
out
them
of him.
down.
Oh, the trip
Oh my god, I didn't put the trip to the right. Dude, that was so legit.
Never mind, Karon's backup, absolutely
Bro, some of the
monumental.
micro plays that Gen.G
Brings
do
things down, goes through
are
the
incredible.
crowd, finds a third kill as well. Stax trying to make sure that they have control of the site. The spike has been planted.
He's doing so much
It's a battle
damage,
for
bro.
time.
Oh no.
Karon says he's not done just yet. Gap big enough to walk through it. Anti, Xcurrent, good timing on it, but Karon even faster on the jiggle.
One smoke for
The
the
round should
spike.
be going T1's way, all things considered.
Oh my god,
never
really?
mind. We did not consider all the things as you see the spray. And Karon, he wants to get it! The ace through the stun!
Bro, what is this game, dude? How is this the most stacked best of 3 I've ever seen? It's insane.
What is that?
That was not, dude.
What an ace. I mean, he was stunned in that last shot. What? 2 incredible aces here today.
He's a beast, man.
Between Stax and
He is a
Karon.
beast.
But this one, right as the stun comes out, I mean,
I mean,
banking on
we have so
Karon to
many sick
defend
things
and
as well.
lock.
Like
He
the
sticks
trip
it with
here,
full
then take
faith.
away the trip, and then put a
again,
trip over
those
towards the
shares
right
for
after they
Gen.G,
used the
you can't
nades
count it out
to
for
get him the
T1.
first kill.
They
That
don't
was
wanna
insane
slow
on
things
its
down.
own.
They don't want Gen.G to find
That
room
forces
to breathe.
T1 down to an eco. They
Trying
got
to
hero
punish
gun, Razor.
any type of buy here from Gen.G. They do have the Showstopper. If they can get close, you have Resurrection and Showstopper. The raise is going to be
Karen, bro.
full sent
Karen's
into the
just a
site.
god, isn't he?
Gen.G surely aware of this, trying to find a bit of a closer angle to hold.
22
Now
and
they'll have to
10.
back out. The raise needs to stay alive for this to work, and he goes down. 0 point
Oh
down,
my God.
trapping everybody at elbow. It's just a spray down for Munchkin.
Yeah, lovely, man.
Karon finishes off the fourth. Stacks all
I think
alone, gets
T1 messed
bit of
up a little
revenge
bit
to
there.
Karon, but it's not going to be enough for the
But
round.
we're good.
As Gen.G now 2 rounds away from closing things out in this best of 3.
My God.
Okay, potentially
So
last
unfortunate.
big buy run for them.
Right
You want a
calls
timeout?
from
Could definitely do a
Extra from
timeout here. You got all the
before,
ults.
trying
Should be
to
an easy
play
round for
against
them.
Gen.G, trying to be careful against Gen.G's thrifties. Now back into it. Texture onto the Outlaw, just kind of falling
T1 had
back.
to win that
Same
eco.
place
Run
from
before,
They
yeah.
anticipate how
Well, I
T1
mean, they
wants
had to
push
win the
up,
anti-eco.
and they just shut them down correctly. Izu falls, the rest of them fall along with him. And it's just that devastating. 7 to 11, Will. The timeout is being called. Chancers running out for T1 to really try to cement their position in this Pacific Stage 2.
This timeout, it's got to be everything from T1. Obviously, their last time out, but of course, you want to make it a streak all the way through, because otherwise, the best you got is overtime. Gen.G just needs one more round win to get to match point. I mean, sure, send a round of applause to T1 for the work they've shown so far. They look stronger, they look a bit more decisive, a bit more consistent in the calls they're making and the confidence they're showing. But like Coach Data said in the pregame interview, you don't have any room for error in Stage 2. That Stage 1 was
Yeah, they
rough,
won away
it
from
was
Breach
rough.
short. And they got
You weren't
all the
able to prove
options.
anything further at Masters Shanghai.
Munchkin won
T1
away
needs
from
to
his ult,
give
which
it
would
all.
cancel both of these.
Everything that they've possibly got.
So yeah, knife is giant on this one as well. We'll keep we'll do knife watch. Okay, so they're faking a similar bit of A pressure, smoke into
It
slow,
was decisive,
or
but now they need even more. 4
no,
ultimates in the bags.
slow
Can they
into
make it
smoke,
happen?
so block vision.
Starting things off with a slight default.
Operator now on
Okay, so that at least on the default keeps 2 people.
Looking at the econ of their opponents, but like you said, cutting the noise, an age-old trick, something that Gen.G used a lot of internationally to try to get ahead of their opponents.
Munchkin just waiting for the
0
sound
points
cue of
ready.
one of
They
these
know with
ults.
the number of ultimates that T1 has, it surely has to be a set play, and that 1-0 point could ruin it all. But Izu swings out when Texture least expects it. We haven't seen that type of reaction for Texture in a long time, but Izu just.
But I think this was a good call though, really. Like they're gonna have some kind of thing planned for the ults. To take like a peek over towards here when you have a res is not too bad.
Keep it a mystery.
It was a nut shot, but
0 point had to be used. That's a bit of an opening for T1. Do they recognize it? If they can go through before that 0 point comes back, they'll find that timing. Send every ult. You want to
take the timing with the knife being used.
You can get it. Full control of the site. Cam not cleared just yet. Finally gets erased. Wall up, and Izu finds the kill onto Meteor as well. Ready for the pop flash. Not ready for that.
What the? What is that?
Into his barrel. The muzzle's going off in the face of Munchkin, unfortunately. Second Thrash now going through.
Oh.
Karon, though, able to peek out, takes down Izu.
What? Gotta defend his teammate on this.
And that's gonna be now the call to save. I mean, Gen.G obviously
picks up the
trying
op
to
to save.
preserve this
Blackie is
operator
dead.
for Texture. They have some rounds left.
Oh,
and
they didn't.
Can, you know, still play alongside
Honestly,
this.
yeah, I think that makes sense.
So that's why I'm a
They'll
little
start
bit
looking
worried.
at their
Although the
money.
spike is
They
gonna
can't
go off.
actually afford to lose many of these guns.
Gen.G is still a team that you want to watch out for. Lakia now getting traded off by Rossi. 8 to 11.
Okay, Razor fish ult used. Still got breach ult now with the death, and Saya still has res. Had it for like what, 3 rounds now?
Yeah, Gen.G's really looking at the long con. Because sure, they have the credits. You can still buy an operator for Texture if you really wanted. You can muster up some sort of a buy. But that means if you lose the next round, then now you have to go into just 1 chance every 2 rounds, and you don't have many of those against T1's current scoreline. So you say, all right, they use 2 ultimates, we keep the operator. That gives us basically still every round left to try to keep the lead, to try to stop them from overtaking us. But the bad news is Rolling Thunder's now online here for Stax. Early fault line, perhaps being trained up down B main. He tries to hold for as long as possible, and T1 knows this.
Yeah, that's nice though. They get the info that the op is over towards here.
They don't take that risk.
We got anti-KO. Wait, why have we got an anti-KO setup? We've got a weird setup at the moment.
Try to make sure that he can check that first corner, but he needs to make sure he doesn't.
He's got a heavier lean over towards B. It's a weird setup from Gen.G.
Gen.G
Double trip kind of info.
Over onto the B site.
One person holding A at the moment.
Or do they have a backup plan for this Rolling Thunder? I mean, yeah, you have the null command.
This is looking good for Gen.G.
But you're not going to have to stop the actual launch of that ultimate.
They're going to tank the ult, but they've got so many people here to flood. Yeah, Meteor just gets all of it.
He actually
what?
dodges it. He's pushing all the way through.
Oh my god, he's crazy.
Hero theft off as well. Stax able to fire back, but now their positions have been revealed. Gen.G has the numbers. Lakia might
that is one of the boldest plays I think I've ever seen.
Starting to go in for that lurk, that flank. Rest popped off by Saya player to give T1 back to even numbers.
They gave the spike over to Excurit. They have that Omen ultimate. They're just going to full send it. They realize the opposite
and they
mid,
don't have much time, so he's probably just going to safe plant. Yeah, he's going to just safe plant, right?
He's all alone. He cannot try to stick the spike just yet, because then he's just going to get
kind of got to.
10
There's not too much time left.
Backup needs to arrive, but Texture is ready.
Oh, it's a big miss.
This is the first shot.
Oh, it's a giant miss.
Gets the kill, and now Excurit starts to plant Charon all
alone. Oh my god, T1 managed to close one back.
How in the world does T1
yeah, and they're arguing a little bit.
round?
I don't know if that was Excurit's calling or what, but that mid-round decision was fantastic. And that spike will, of course, go off, as it should, for T1 to celebrate. 9-11 now, a little bit closer. Just sliding and gliding past.
Bro, that Meteor play was absolutely mental.
The fact that they don't rush it. I mean, sure, it's a Hail Mary.
On a Cypher.
But they don't rush it right off the bat. You don't want to take that risk, because then the round's really over. You still try to take all the way to mid. That way the backup can arrive just in time. You even get sight of the operator.
The misses, yeah, I mean, that was part of the round.
It has to be weak on the site, because surely Texture doesn't play alone that far ahead.
Wow. I mean, lots of things happened in this round. Great calling, great plays from T1, but I am still a little bit worried. I mean, Meteor having the sense to push through that smoke using his Cyber Cage. This double kill was fantastic. Aside from that, though, once again, it's those ultimates being spent from T1. Sure, it gives them the round, but that long con will, I'm getting a little bit worried.
Yeah, now...
Okay. And it forced them down to Nico. It was a giant round.
Sure, you tried to save the operator once, but it's not going to happen a second time.
Flash to get to the angle, recon as well on top. They get a smoke at the bottom. They can set one up over towards A. Do they want to set the person with the rifle up or not?
One of these rounds to get to match point first. That's going to be locked.
It's over. 2 away from his ult.
From the Hunter's Fury. T1 does hear that. We'll see if they go for a reclear. Still plenty of time, but full mid control, full B main control. Now door broken. It's going to be a pinch. Paranoia sets up for Market. Counter Paranoia, but it's still going to be that 1v1 against
Three
Meteor.
people on site.
Cyber Cage.
Along
I mean, Munchkin has...
on the spot from Munchkin. Charon and Munchkin will continue to fire through. Good trades from Rossi and Izu, though.
And
wait.
Over in B main. I don't know if they
He's done it again, bro.
Rossi's not ready for it, Stax, thankfully.
Has he always in B main?
Spike recovered. Now waiting, gets pinged. Texture dashes in, sees Izu, and he sprays him.
Oh my god.
Realizes Izu's sticking to it with the tracers. Stax tries to draw them out. Here's the Sheriff. Goes for the fault line, wants to get
oh man, how'd you win this now?
He wants to isolate the 1v1s, but can he do it? Now they've grouped up. It's a 2v1 no matter how you cut it. And Gen.G, no reason to rush. All you need to do is group up, and the timing in favor of Lakia and Texture.
My goodness, this is a mental round again.
For Gen.G,
I didn't see a replay, to be honest. No, who did well? I'm pretty sure Karen did well, but I think it was because of a trip.
It's been right around that edge for the longest time. Gen.G finally reaching to it in such a fashion too. Meteor having the sensing to go in.
I mean, Texture did great in the 2v2.
And at the same time, the two of them sticking together again against Stax. So
Case 3. Dude, T1 lost double eco, right?
End, but now they have to push this to overtime.
Yeah, they got thrifty twice. big.
See if they can do it. Yeah, you're only a couple points away from your own ultimates as well, but you do spot Charon. You hear the shrouded step, so he decides he's going to save the paint shells. We'll just use the boom bot for a little bit of information.
That's nice though. Boom bot out
so
for a bit of B main. Double TP gone.
Well.
Oh, single TP, sorry.
Now B main back in control for T1, but not much outside of that. Still have to clear it just to be sure. And you can't cross too cleanly. All right, Dizzy gets full confirmation. Ult Orb now for the taking. Rossi will have Thrash if he's able to pick that up. And Gen.G, it looks
T1
like
about to get beat in League and Valorant at the same time. Are they playing as well?
Might be the one that swings around.
Wait, isn't the League one like a big upset? Or am I just fully behind?
Great position from Gen.G, very defensive.
Yeah, I mean, look at that, right? It's either Charon or Meteor. One of them is going to be alive if the Thrash comes through.
Is a big upset?
To make sure they cut off the backup. Saya player, does he find
Giant
the
kill?
That's a big one. Weakens out, yeah, the B side. Draws out the 0 point as well, and nobody gets tagged.
GenG's better these days.
This is just working out perfectly for T1.
Oh, really?
Surely you just press in off of this, right?
Absolutely,
oh my God.
but this may be a little
Oh, God, he... Wait, he has to realize.
That's not a good sign. Saya quickly calming everything he just saw. And the Thrash goes in, but Charon goes ahead of it. They have no idea that he has Shrouded Step forward. He wants all the information. He wants the spike. He wants...
Oh, my.
Charon holds it down.
He even got Wingman during all of that.
10 seconds left. He will get the spike.
2 bullets for everyone, including Wingman. He's here so fast.
Never seen him in this round. It's
1v1.
now a 1v1. Saya versus Texter.
Oh my, the shots.
The reigning
That was sick, bro.
champion
Alright,
from
chat, what an
Shanghai
unbelievable game this was. Best of 3 wise. First map, third map were insane. Second map was T1 just wrecking them a little bit.
They stay on top, the best team in the world.
Ooh, T1 look exciting though with Stax, I'm not gonna lie.